Welcome back to another episode of the Miami Heat Roundtable. My name is Amir. Got the full crew today. We got Ernest. You can find him at Miami Heat Talk. Got Martel. You can find him at Miami Heat Zone. And we got Trent. You can find him at Miami Heat Network. How are you guys doing tonight?
Let's get
Can't
it.
complain.
Well, good to see you guys. Well, we had a episode yesterday, a post game show. We talked about the Miami Heat losing to the Sixers. Ernest wasn't able to join, but happy to have you tonight, Ernest. So the Miami Heat are now 37 and 31, and unfortunate loss last night because if we won, we would have been the sixth seed, I believe. And since we lost, we're back in the eighth seed, back in the playoff race, play-in race, excuse me, with 15 games left. And the biggest theme of the season, we're dropping like flies. It feels like every week there's a new injury. Duncan Robinson, the latest news is he flew back to Miami. He's not going to be playing tomorrow at Cleveland. He's going to go see a back specialist. The doctor said he needs a backiotomy, so he's going to go check his back out. Right? He needs to talk to Samson. He needs to get that good, which just sucks. Duncan, didn't play great yesterday, but he missed half of the game. But Jimmy's out. We don't know if he's going to play. He's questionable tomorrow. Jovic is questionable. We already know Hero's out. We already know Love's out. So, God, what are your guys' thoughts on this latest thing, man? Are we cursed? Like, can we catch a break? Like, Ernest, what are your thoughts, man?
I mean, it's Murphy's Law with Miami Heat. If it can't go wrong, it usually does. Especially, I call it the curse of LeBron James. Ever since LeBron left, we could never had a healthy season. It's just the facts. Even though times are tough, we're still a game down from sixth seed. There's still a lot of basketball left. You know, if it was only a game left in the season, yeah, I'd see a cause for panic. But the Heat can still turn it around. I know that all these injuries are mounting on. So I've said it before. If we're not fully healthy, it's going to be hard. But we still have time. We don't know what's going to happen. So instead of focusing on the problem, let's focus on a possible solution. I think try to see things glass half full until we know the answer. If Tyler's done for the season, if Duncan's done for the season, if Kevin's not coming back, then yeah, we could panic all day. The Heat will probably be a second round exit team, maybe even a first round exit team. But I think if we can get the sixth seed, which is still possible, if we can get fully healthy in playoffs, I think the Heat still have a chance, my opinion. I know that's far-fetched. Say what you want, but I think there's still time. So I think we can still do something with it. We got a game against Cleveland tomorrow that's winnable. It's not easy, but it's doable, my opinion.
Yeah, I want to ask Trent this because I agree with Ernest to the sense that if we can get right, even if Tyler Hero misses the rest of the regular season, I don't know if he is. I'm leaning on a little bit of hope that he can come back for at least the last 3 or 4 games. Because if he misses the next 2 weeks or so, which could be another 7, 8 games, then he's going to be out for at least 5 weeks at this point. He's been out for 3 weeks, right? So like this foot injury, like which we don't even know really how he got it, like is potentially going to be a longer injury than his initial injury when he landed on whoever's foot against the Memphis Grizzlies, right? So he missed 18 games there. If he doesn't come back for the regular season, that means he's going to be missing like 25 games, which I think is insane because that was a severe ankle sprain that he had earlier in the season. So I have a little bit of hope that he might come back. But either way, if we're healthy, then this team can compete. I agree with that. I don't know how far they can get, but Trent, what are your thoughts? Because you've been talking about Jimmy being washed, this team being cooked, Spo being washed, all that shit. Do you think if we're fully healthy, we're washed still? Like, what are your thoughts if we're fully healthy? Do you agree with Ernest and I, or do you think we're just completely cooked?
Bro, I'm tired of hearing if I was a freaking if I never got hurt, I'll be in the NBA. Okay? If I never did this, I would have I've been a millionaire. I'm tired of these ifs. It is what it is. Injuries are gonna be part of Miami, and we gotta deal with it. We keep talking about if Tyler comes back, if freaking Love comes back, if this, truth of the matter is this team is not even good enough, even if we're healthy. This team is cooked. And one thing you guys didn't know is that he haven't beat a non-Pistons team since March 2nd. They haven't beat a 500 team since February 26th. The Heat are 3-18 against teams with a top 10 point differential. This team's cooked. And then Ernest loves to say, if we're healthy, we go into playoffs no matter what seed we are, 8th seed or this and that. Sounds good. It's all good and all, right? But in the playoffs, you're playing the best of the best, correct? And last time I checked, we are 2-16 against the best teams in the league, and 14-21 the whole season against the best teams. We don't have a positive record all year. You want to talk about last year? We were 12-12 against the good teams. At least we was 500. This year, we're not even close.
Not even the best teams. Let me just say that the 500 teams.
Yeah.
We're 0 whatever 8 against the top. Well, minus the Bucks, I guess, right? We're like 2-14 against the top 4 in each conference.
So then let me say this, right? So everybody wants to Jimmy Butler. We have Jimmy Butler. Yup. Jimmy Butler is slowing down. Remember when he says, it's time. It's time. You know what he has done since he says it's that time? Dude been averaging 18 points a game, shooting 45% from the field, and 4 free throws. You know what that tells me? His body can't handle it no more. His body is breaking up. And it's slowly, you're seeing inconsistencies. And that's what happens with older players, inconsistencies. Unless you're LeBron James. LeBron James is the GOAT. He could do it still. But Jimmy is breaking down. His body's
MJ too. MJ too at 38.
Foot contusion. We talked about this yesterday in yesterday's episode. A minor foot contusion keep you out for a couple of days. If Jimmy's not back by the Cavaliers game, I'm assuming this is going to be a major foot contusion. And he's going to have to deal with his injury throughout the play-in, because we're going to be a playing team, and throughout the playoffs. Good luck. Because he being healthy is already showing glimpse of him falling apart, him missing easy layups, him turning the ball over, doing Jimmy things that we usually don't see him do. I know y'all watching the games. I know y'all seeing it. I mean, you can't say it's that time and then go out there and start losing a bunch of games. You can't do that. It's really just simple as that. So that's what I'll say for now. I'm interested to see what Ernest and Amir got to say. But yeah, we need to stop comparing our team from last year. Yeah, this year we have a better roster on paper, but clearly the record, I predict we have the same record as last year, 44-38. I think we finished off 7-7 in our last 14 games.
Ernest, what were you writing down, Ernest?
Not writing down anything. I haven't heard Martell talk, so before anybody else talks, why don't Martell will say something?
Taking some receipts.
For real.
No, listen, like it all just comes down to Jimmy Butler, kind of like what Trent said, because like I said yesterday, there's no other team that can afford their superstar to be out for multiple games, and especially now their second best player for multiple games. Have we somewhat kept afloat? Yes. But with Duncan Robinson being out, he's our best three-point shooter. So how is this team now going to put up shots or even put up three-point shots when we struggle to score with him on the floor, with or without Duncan? So there's a lot of things going on right now with the Miami Heat. And it's like what Trent said, if Jimmy Butler misses another game, obviously this means that this foot injury is a lot bigger than what we think. And that's also could be a playing factor going into the playoffs. So right now, listen, it's unfortunate because I honestly think that at least one of these Jimmy Butler runs, we could have won a championship. I'm not saying it's completely over, but especially if we're going into the playoffs banged up, I really don't think we'll be able to compete with some of the other teams.
It's not over, bro. We got Cole Swider coming in. Are you kidding?
This guy.
Cole Swider.
Dude,
Look.
Before you go, Ernest, though, real quick, to Martel's point, like we're cooked on the lack of three-point guys because Jovic was shooting in the high 40s somehow. I don't know how he was shooting 43%. Jimmy is our best three-point shooter, obviously, shooting 45% on the year. Duncan 41, Tyler 40. That's 4 guys right now, right? So to your point, Martel, yeah, like that's a big loss with Duncan right now, right, being out. So anyway, Ernest, go for it.
No, there's no real point. I mean, actually, a lot of things that Trent mentioned, I mean, it is true. You know, there's if you look at the standings right now, if you look at the points right now, it looks like that this season might be the forecoming for what last season possibly should have been, which is either not a playoff entrance or a first round exit, because we knew that was what probably was going to happen. Then Giannis gets hurt, Jimmy plays out of his mind, and then we see a different team. This year, the writing kinds of seem to be at the wall. We've been injured all year. This may not be the year. All I'm saying is, what's today's date? March 19th, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's not April yet. We don't know what's really going to happen. We can say what we want. We can speculate what we want. We can doubt what we want. All I'm saying is, this same time last year, everybody was saying the same thing about this Heat roster. Playoffs are different. We know that this Miami Heat team is built different. Injury, we're saying the same thing. Injuries, blah 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 blah. All I want to say is, I'm not willing to count this team out until we're officially out. And no matter what happens, no matter what's done, I still think we have a chance. I know I'm sounding like that wrought up Heat fan, but still, y'all, like, there's a lot of basketball left to play. We don't know what's going to happen with these injuries. It just sucks, man. It sucks. Like, I want to be more positive, but like with all these injuries that it's happened, with everything that's going on, it's really hard to be. Yeah, man, it just stinks. It really stinks. Injuries
Hey,
suck, man.
hey, I will say this: the Miami Heat this year at home are 17-15.
Yep.
Last year they were 27-14, I believe. So there's a big difference right there alone. And
Damn.
last year we were 17-24 away, and this year we're actually a little bit better, surprisingly, which is a good thing. We're 20-16. My concern is you should be playing better at home. This is when the role players feel more comfortable and stuff like that, and we're struggling there. And to win a championship, you need to have home court advantage. Like the Heat always want to go the hard way. Let's be an eighth seed. Let's beat this team. Then let's get in the playoffs, and then let's eliminate them, and then let's reach the finals and be freaking all tired out. No one wants to take that way. That's why the Denver Nuggets and Michael Porter Jr. said, no offense, we didn't want the Celtics. We wanted the easier team, which was the Miami Heat. Like, they wanted us. And they knew they can beat us, and the record shows it. They still gonna beat us to this day. It don't like Jimmy gone. When he retires, they're still gonna beat us. Jimmy here, they're still gonna beat us. Us being healthy, they're still gonna beat us. But that's that, and it sucks because we're the Heat, and we shouldn't have that. A team knows they're always gonna beat us. We should always come in the games like we ain't worried about them. Oh, trust me, we are worried always about the Denver Nuggets. Always, whenever you see them on the schedule, oh, this is a loss, and it just sucks. It really do. It do suck, bro. It really do. But I'm not confident in this team at all. I told you, I'm hope I'm wrong, to be honest. I really do hope I'm wrong. But what I've seen so far in this year with 14 games left, how is that possibly going to turn around? It's like, when you see a worker, Ernest, you're a boss, right?
Yeah.
So when you're a boss, you see a coworker for a straight week is doing the same thing, messing up, messing up, messing up. Then you're like, okay, I'll give it time. Then a month in, he's doing the same thing. He's messing up, messing up. That's just who the person is. He's not good at his job. And that's what the Miami Heat have shown all season. They're inconsistent. One week they go on a 7-game losing streak. The next week they go on an 8-game winning streak. How can that get you far in the postseason? Please tell me.
No. There's only been one consistent thing about this team all season long. They consistently get hurt.
Yeah,
That's it.
true.
That's it. That's the only consistent thing. Y'all, I've said this so much. I've thrown we've all thrown rotation. I remember we've talked in February when we had that hot streak. We were all in great anticipation that in the playoffs, we could do this. It's just this injury bug. Call it what you want. Call it the LeBron curse. Call it we play so hard. We're that team. I think that's a load of crap. I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's a little bit of bad luck because we don't know what this team could really be. We really don't, because every single year we're hampered by this bug. So, and you know what's funny? I'm going to go by Trent. Trent, I don't know if you remember this. When Tyler first got hurt, before the foot thing happened, when he hyperextended the knee, do you remember that you said that he was done for the year? And I think you were joking about it. And then it started playing with the foot thing, and now we haven't seen Tyler come back. You called him injury prone earlier this season, and I wasn't willing to admit that. But the further that we're getting along with this Tyler situation, it all stems back from Tyler Hero. So what I think the Heat need to do is we have two options. This is our final season with this whole thing. If it doesn't work out this year, I think Miami needs to really think about retooling this in the offseason, because this is 5 years now of Jimmy, Tyler, and Bam, and you can't get one healthy season. Is the writing on the wall? Because if we get bounced in the first round, would you guys bring this team back together? Honestly, if this team gets bounced in the first round with all these injuries, would you try again?
No.
Or would you say, I got Bam, Jaquez, and whoever the else I can ride with and just blow this team up? I'm curious what everyone thinks about
I'm
that.
trading Jimmy Butler immediately.
Oh,
I
God.
am trading Jimmy Butler immediately. And I
Why?
say that because
Give me
think
5
about it.
reasons. Give me 3 reasons.
Okay.
No. Hang on. Martell trades Jimmy. Okay, Trent.
Oh, I already told you what I'm doing. I'm trading Tyler Hero.
Okay.
I think what you do is, I think you let Jimmy retire as the Heat,
Okay.
unfortunately, and then you just go with you ride out with Terry, Bam, and Jimmy, and you go all out for the next 2 seasons.
Okay.
And you call it a day.
Amir, what about you? If Miami get bounced in the first round, what's the main thing you want to do in the offseason?
Not negotiate with Jimmy Butler for that contract extension and say, take your $44 million. Let's talk next summer before you get to the last year, which is like $52 million. But either way, I'm not going to trade Jimmy Butler. Definitely not.
That's a difficult conversation.
But
Now
you
wait.
Duncan,
I want to know this.
Whoever else. Yeah.
Before we move forward, I want to list. So that's if they get bounced in the first round. What if the Heat do it again? What if they shock the world? I'm not saying it's an 8th seed. Let's say you get to a 6th seed, you make the finals again. Do you still try to blow this team up?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah?
You do. Yep.
Okay. So no matter what,
if we get to the finals and don't win, you mean, do we blow it up?
Yeah. If the Heat have another historic run, shock everyone. Let's say ceiling Eastern Conference Finals. Eastern Conference Finals, they do kind of what the Lakers did last year, similar to what we did. They have a crap record, but they still make it to the conference finals, possible NBA Finals. Are you still trading Tyler, trading Jimmy, all that?
Yeah.
Finals, maybe not is a difference, but because then it's like, what roster do we have? First of all, like, are we fully healthy? Because that's never going to happen, as we all know. But like, if we're fully healthy, they make it to the finals, then maybe I'm not going to blow it up. But if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals only, still healthy, and lose, then you got to shake it up. And I don't think it's Jimmy Butler or Bam, but it could be a combination of Tyler and Duncan, Rozier and Tyler. Let's see who you can get. Let's see if you can get a Mitchell, a Markkanen, a whoever. Like, we need to make a move if we don't make it to the finals. If we have, again, if I love that you said that, Trent, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, if everybody's healthy and we make it far, I mean, continuity is the biggest issue, guys. Let me bring one thing to you guys. We've had 30, however many different lineups, starting lineups, 33, 34. Denver has had like 4. Like, the Clippers have had like 8. Like, all the top teams have continuity. We have only one starting 5 that has logged 100 minutes together, and that's the recent lineup with Jimmy, Jovic, Bam, Terry, and Duncan. And they were in -6 when it comes to points per 100 possessions compared to their opponents. So, like, our most consistent roster that we've had all season, logging 100 minutes, is still not effective. So, like, we don't have that continuity. So, like, all these if we're healthy, like, who's Spo gonna play? Like, he's still tinkering. Remember, we're talking about, like, why are you tinkering so much with your 4, with the point guard, like with the shooting guard? So I don't know, man. I mean, Ernest, what's your answer to that question? What's if we make it to the East healthy? Big if, hypothetical, like, do we blow it up or not, get rid of somebody? Or what's if we get to the finals healthy and lose, in your opinion?
It's really difficult on what the answer is, because you're taking a 34-year-old Jimmy, taking him to 35. Every year, you don't know what you're getting. Last year was the year. We didn't win. This year could have been the year if everyone was healthy. That's not working. Heat fans, myself included, you three guys with the answers you just gave. Everybody's getting tired of this era because it's coming up with the same thing: injury. This right now is the final year. This is Tyler's, Jimmy's, Bam's. Like this squad, I believe it's the last chance. Because if they don't do anything in this playoff series, and mark my word, I really believe this, you're gonna see a big shakeup. Whether it's trading Jimmy, whether it's trading Tyler, whether it's trading Terry, something like that. If the Heat make the NBA Finals or an Eastern Conference Finals trip, I don't think Pat's going to make a change. I really don't think so. I think we're going to have all offseason talking about trading Tyler, the same thing we did with Dame, and then nothing's going to happen. I think they're going to keep it like it is, maybe retool here or there, and like we have heard in the past, they like who they have. And it's the thing that Heat fans don't like to hear. But I think that if the Heat are injured, they get bounced early in the playoffs, I think you're going to see a shakeup. But if they make it far, I think they're going to keep it the way it is. That's an honest opinion. So I think the Heat fans that are clamoring for change, if we get bounced early, it's going to be good for them because you're not going to have to deal with this Tyler Fragile thing anymore. But if we make it far, you're going to continue to see what we have right now. The Heat are going to keep trying with this team because they love what they have.
But what do you want, though?
What do I want? I want the Heat to win the championship now.
Of course. No, but if
What
they do,
is
if they get that far, though,
but no, but your stat, like Amir, is that's the best stat I've ever heard, and I want you to listen. You have to say that stat every single podcast that we have. You know, like about the seventh and and the eighth seed. They do not win championships. They might get far, but the likelihood of us winning a championship when you look at 5 and below, they really never won a championship just from the uphill battle. And quickly, because I don't want to take up all the time, but think about Jimmy Butler. What superstar in the NBA where you're gonna say, well, we don't know what type of Giannis we're gonna get tonight. We don't know what type of Luka we're gonna get tonight. We don't know what type of LeBron we're gonna get tonight. How is our best player? And this is where the Miami Heat have to be real about themselves, especially when it comes back to re-signing Jimmy Butler. How are we gonna re-sign Jimmy Butler and we don't know what type of Jimmy Butler we're gonna get, if he cares or not, if he's gonna play or not, and then also too, how are we gonna continue to allow Jimmy to miss all these games, and he is okay? Like think about it. Tyler and Bam are not good enough with the role players that we have to carry the Miami Heat throughout the regular season. This team is built off of Jimmy Butler, and if Jimmy Butler is not playing, we're not going to win. And it doesn't make sense. This is the second since the bubble we've lacked size and scoring, and this is the second year in a row where we can't score and we're in the play-in tournament area again. What does that mean? We didn't make improvements, and this team is built on Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler's unavailable. He's not scoring, and then even when he's not giving us 30. He's not giving us those 40-point games. I'm not asking for that every night, but Luka every now and then, and all the other stars across the NBA, Tatum, Brown, they're at least giving you 30 points a night, 35 sometimes, and Jimmy Butler's not even available to give us that. So how are we going to continue to move on with Jimmy Butler? And listen, I get it, trade Tyler Hero, and we might get a better piece. That's cool. But Jimmy Butler is the ultimate piece because we are riding on him as our best player. I like everything that he's done. We've had great runs, but it comes to the point. Look at LeBron James. He can't carry the way he used to. Before, you could put whoever you want around him, and he'll bring the team to the finals. Jimmy Butler can't do that anymore. And if the Miami Heat are not realistic with that, we're gonna continue to hit this wall of playing tournament, and we can't score because our best player doesn't even have a bag like that. His bag isn't like Luka's and Tatum and Kyrie. He can't score effortlessly. Everything is hard. Everything is turnaround jumper. Bully ball. It's not a recipe for success for an older player, and he's trying to get paid in the future. These are a lot of issues. It's more than just trading Tyler. We should trade Tyler to probably get another piece, but Jimmy Butler is the focus right now.
I
Crickets,
mean, yeah.
crickets,
Yeah, man,
crickets, crickets.
listen, my man
Crickets.
I was
my
waiting
man,
for someone else to say with him.
my man Martell just cooked up, man. Listen, it's time to say goodbye to Jimmy, baby. It's time to say goodbye, man. I personally think as an organization they won't do that to Jimmy, and that's the reason why I say trade Tyler. because I think they want Jimmy to retire as a Heat. I think it makes sense. But I totally agree with Martell to trade Jimmy. The problem is you're probably not going to get nothing out of Jimmy.
I wouldn't say it.
That's not true.
Who the hell is trading for Jimmy Butler?
You can get like three.
No, he has more value than Tyler, I believe.
Two pieces.
Stop it. Who
Bro,
would trade for
Davis-
Jimmy Butler on that contract? Who would trade for Jimmy Butler on that contract?
You could trade two players, dude. You could trade like Davis Bertans and Joe Harris and all these freaking Marcus Morris, all these buyout guys were making 18, 20 million.
Yeah, man. I think
million,
there's teams will
another
take
20
him.
million.
Yo, listen.
Jimmy.
I think what y'all failing to realize is that there's no such thing as trade value anymore in the NBA. You realize that like a lot of these star players that got traded, they got traded for squat crap. Do you realize that nowadays?
Except for the Utah guys.
Well, yeah, but that's
for Mitchell and Gobert.
There's only a few GMs nowadays that get good value. You're never gonna get good value in return that you expect. Like I know you're not a big fan of James Harden. Just an example, like he got traded for scraps. Like let's be realistic. Nicholas Batum and Marcus Morris, like that's scraps. Like James Harden is still a star player in this league, like it or not.
Debatable.
Like no, he definitely is.
We're
you got Kevin
round.
Durant. I mean, like all these pieces are not getting like all these star players don't get traded for much. Like the only player you're gonna get something crazy for nowadays is a Jason Tatum, a Luka, and a Victor. Like, bro, like and Edwards and stuff like that. But like even like other players, like Trae Young ain't going for nothing. Mitchell will probably won't go for much. Like these players don't go for much nowadays. So Jimmy's aging. The dude's injury prone. Let me not say injury prone. I'm sorry. He's dealing with naggy injuries, and his contract's so huge. Why would I trade for that? Only way I'm trading for Jimmy if he's on an expiring deal.
I mean, also if you're a contender and if Jimmy's that piece that can help you win. Let's say, like, for example, next season, I could see a team like Philadelphia wanting to go for a Jimmy Butler. That's just throwing one team out there. There's several teams in that boat that can use a Jimmy Butler that can help them win. If I'm Miami, though, I agree with Trent. If I'm Miami, I'm not looking to trade Jimmy. I'm thinking I can get another year or two because Miami is right on that cusp of being a championship team. If you take Tyler, trade Tyler, get somebody that can help you with a roster with Jimmy, Bam, Terry, Duncan, Jaime Jaquez, then yeah, I would put this team as the top contender for a 2025 championship. I'm not saying that Tyler is a bad player. I'm saying that what he does with this current roster, with what we have, it doesn't fit perfectly. If you take Tyler and trade him to a Utah, for Lauri Markkanen, if you do something like that, Tyler will ball out in a team like that. He can average 28 points a game and play the way that he wants. But on this roster with this team, he's best fitted as a six man, but he doesn't want to do that. So if you can't get him to help this team in the best way, maybe trade him. You should have traded him last year. His trade value has gone hugely down.
That's what I was going to ask you. What's his trade value? Because I don't know if you
garbage
trade Markkanen for him at this point.
That was an example.
He's going to. I know. He's going to play 50 games for whoever he gets traded to. He's played 67, the most in his career.
Amir, let me ask you this question: do you even think at this moment we could even get a Colin Sexton and a Kelly Olynyk package for Tyler Hero?
Yeah.
And
there's something a little spicier.
Hold on.
That's why.
Let me say something though. You see how y'all had to think about that? And that just shows you how low Tyler's value is at the moment. If you had to think about that, that's probably a package that I know a few of us want to do. I don't know for specifically Tyler, but I know we wanted to get that this season.
Yep.
But if I'm throwing Tyler in there, we're talking about Colin Sexton and Kelly Olynyk. Like, let's just be real. Just be real with ourselves right now. You see what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there's more packages, but if we're questioning that already, then these other packages are gonna be out the freaking world. Like a Lauri Markkanen, the Danny Ainge is gonna hang up in our face.
Yeah, and then ain't this new CBA? You can't aggregate trades if you're an apron team. So now trading him is gonna be even harder.
Yeah, and I hate these new rules.
Yeah, bro, it's gonna be more tough now because now you can't take two players and trade him for Tyler. You got to take his $27 million and trade him for someone straight up for $27 million. it's going to be crazy annoying. It's like this past offseason was the offseason to make a deal for him. Now it kind of feels like we're stuck with him. So
And honestly, I think the whole you know what sucks. No one talks about it no more because we're onto the season. But the whole Dame saga, starting from the off season, killed our whole vibe heading into this year. Until we got Terry, then we got Terry. It was like, okay, we got some hope, and then it just like we already had lost hope in the front office and everything to help this team get better after that Dame trade failed. After that, it was just like, yeah, we'll see what we can do because we're the Heat at the end of the day, and we still have Jimmy and Bam. But yeah, that killed a lot. And to be honest, having Dame at the moment, I promise you right now, we would not be an eighth seed. For a fact.
Facts.
Dude, he's like 34. He's averaging still 25.7 assists, 5 rebounds. His 3-point percentage is down from whatever it normally is to like 36, but still, like
if he was here, he would be better. If he was on the Heat, he would have been playing better.
He'd be a perfect fit.
Swear to you.
Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler. Like he's still a bucket. Come on, he's still playing next to Giannis, who's an MVP candidate, top 4 player in the NBA. What is Giannis averaging right now? 31 points per game. It's not like
good Lord.
Giannis is averaging 31. Like it's like because he's not like if Giannis wasn't there, Dame could be averaging 30 himself too if he was the number 1 option. He's the number 2 option on that team. So,
and I will say I just want to bring this last topic up because we can talk about it. It'll be a quick one. But I'll say something about Dame real quick. Dame can carry us. I know for a fact Dame can carry us. He carried the Portland Trailblazers his whole freaking career, and then he was carrying the Bucks for a little bit, and they were still being relevant. But I want to talk about this. Hey, shout out to Bam Adebayo. All this, I feel like this show was a little bit negative. Shout out to my man Bam Adebayo for working on that. Yo, his 3-point stroke looks so beautiful.
Yo, it looks good for real.
So beautiful, man. He
4
saved
straight
us from
games.
he saved us from that bull crap with the buzzer beater. I wasn't happy with that win, but a win's a win, I guess, right? And he needs to consistently shoot that in the playoffs. If he does that in the playoffs, the offense will lay not so much in the paint. And you know what that does? Terry can drive more. Duncan can drive more. Jimmy can get to the hoop more. And Tyler, if he's back, can drive more. If he's consistently just knocking that shot down twice, just twice, that's all I'm asking. The defense is not going to always sit back in the paint. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah,
I agree.
The rim. We can't get to the rim. Like lowest attempts, like bottom 3 teams in the league are getting to the rim, scoring at the rim. Like Terry's helped, but he's even shooting at a low percentage when he gets there. Like he's been better the last few games, but like he's 5'11" probably in real life, right? They say he's like 6'1", but that's bullshit. Like we can't get to the rack, and that's a perfect point, Trent. Like Duncan can give you so much gravity. And Tyler can give you so much gravity. Like, it's not Dame type of gravity. That guy can shoot from damn near the freaking half-court line, like, at 30% if he wanted to, right? So, huge.
Dame and Bam would have been scary. But we have Tyler, so.
Kind of.
Look, I mean, I know we say what we're saying. I know this is Heat fans venting. Heat fans, it's been a tough season. It's been frustrating. But I will say this. Fat lady hasn't sang yet. I don't hear no fat lady singing. So the season ain't over. Until the Heat get knocked out or eliminated from the playoffs, it ain't over till it's over. You give me a healthy roster going into the season. You give me a Tyler Hero that's willing to come off the bench. And I think the Heat can still make some noise. I think they can. Chances are, I don't know, slim pickings. But let's see. That's all we can say. Let's see.
Tyler, if he does come back, he's coming off the bench no matter what. But who knows? Duncan got hurt too. I don't think Duncan had a back issue going into the game in theory, and he like tweaked it. Like if it was an actual serious injury, like he wouldn't have played in the first place. So, but either way, we have no shooting guards now, right? I guess DeLon Wright. He got hurt too. He got hurt.
What do you mean? All of our power forwards are shooting guards. What are you talking about? Everybody in our team is pretty much a shooting guard. We're fine.
Like small forward, Haywood and Caleb. They're not like true shooting guards. They can't like shoot like mid range.
If you're under 6'6", in my opinion, you could be a shooting guard. Like, I mean,
you gotta be able to shoot to be a shooting guard, though.
That's true. Oh,
like a traditional one, if we think about the old school ones, like come on, like or even the current ones, like a deep.
Oh man, I'm just saying the rest of this season is just this. Let's see. Let's just see what happens, man. We got our 2024 draft pick, so hey, let's see what we do with that, man. I mean, doesn't matter what's going to happen. It's still going to be an exciting season, exciting playoffs, exciting off season. It's exciting all year round, man. What else can you ask for, Heat fans?
Maybe we should just tank for the first time ever.
No, hell no.
Let's just lose 15 in a row and get in that lottery. Get a good draft. I don't watch college, so I don't really know.
No, it's all right this year. We'll see.
It's not in our vocabulary, but all right. So tomorrow night we got the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell's out, and Max Strus is going to be out. But most of our team is out. I don't know. He's questionable, so we'll see. This could be like the Sixers game all over again, right? Like it's a game where you have enough because they don't have enough, and it's going to be a battle of attrition, and we'll see how far Bam can take us. But they're going to double team his ass all day with Jared Allen and Mobley, and the Sixers had a great game plan, man. Just get the ball out of Bam's hands. Don't let him shoot in the fourth quarter. Make the others beat you because there's no one available at that point when Duncan Robinson was gone, right? Make Jaime shoot that jumper. Make Caleb shoot. Make Terry shoot. And that was a good recipe for a victory for them. But either way, man, big game. And also, Ernest mentioned earlier, we're like a game or so behind for the 6th seed. We're 4 games back for the Knicks. And OG Anunoby re-injured or suffered a setback with his surgically repaired wrist or elbow or whatever the hell it is, and he's going to miss some time, and that's huge because we know that Randall has still been out. I don't know what his timetable is with his dislocated shoulder, but he's been out for a long time. He's missed a bunch of games himself in the 20-plus range, so they could fall too, man. Like, they're one injury away from like being an 8th seed, right? Like there's 14 games. You could easily lose 4 or 5 in a row. Look what happened to the Sixers when they lost Embiid. They went from 3 to 8 until they beat us, right? So that could be big for the Miami Heat right there for helping us go. Like if he's seriously out and if Randall's not coming back anytime soon, because that's a big loss right there defensively, especially for the Knicks. So maybe there's some hope there. But
we'll see. It's going to be interesting, though. We're getting to that nitty-gritty time.
Any news on Jimmy Butler? Anybody hear anything outside of him being questionable?
We'll find out tomorrow. There's really nothing that's being updated right now. It's just questionable.
He must be, for us to say that, it must be like a mild contusion. Trent, you're mentioning, takes a couple days. If you got it, Friday against the Nuggets? He's had Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days, full days off. So
I did hear Ira Winderman say that he seemed fine when he saw Jimmy. So take that with what you will.
You think we're just like Spo saying, screw it. Who cares if we're a playing team at this point? We want to make sure Jimmy's the healthiest as possible. Sacrifice a couple of these games.
That's a dangerous game.
We're not going to be out of the play-in, though. Like we're going to be.
I'm telling you, listen. Be careful saying that. I'm telling you, people don't understand. I said this like on the last episode. People don't understand. We shouldn't even be playing the last 5 games seriously. Why should Bam and Jimmy be playing the last 3 games? If they're playing the last 3 games, there's a problem. And that's why we have to take the regular season seriously. And Trent said this in the beginning of the season. And look what the Clippers did. They took the regular season seriously. If Jimmy Butler played all them games that we lost like in the beginning to the Spurs and all these random games, we would not be in the predicament that we're in right now. Trying to scramble with because like I told you, like Amir, remember, with 15 games left, we really only have about 10. Those last 5 games, I don't want Bam and Jimmy really playing like that.
Yeah,
I don't really want them playing like that. So these are all things that we got to think about.
Yep, and also think about this. Kawhi Leonard has played 61 games, and Paul George 61 games. Jimmy's at 47.
Come on now.
Name one single major season-ending, career-threatening injury that Jimmy Butler's ever had. Name what happened to Paul George, my boy, back in the day when he was he on the Thunder when he went for that dunk and had that disgusting broken leg? What did Kawhi have?
Pacers,
torn ACL. What has Kawhi done? Like ACL, multiple knee surgeries, like St. Paul George, broken foot, knee. Like they're playing more games than him. That's also a recipe for their success. But that's crazy that like Jimmy hasn't torn his ACL, he hasn't torn his Achilles, he hasn't like broken his leg or broken an arm. Like he's so rugged. I don't understand how he's not more durable. But
it's all good, man. Listen, we'll be all right. But I think today's episode was great.
What do you mean we're gonna be all right? You said we're cooked.
Yeah, well, that's just me trying to be optimistic. All
Hey,
right.
you're still a Heat fan at the end of the day, right? You
Exactly.
want us to succeed, but
I
you're
just
just
seen
being
enough.
real. You're just being
Yeah.
real, right? With like your opinion, and I respect that. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for hopping on tonight. Hopefully, the Heat win tomorrow. We need to win this game. Donovan Mitchell's out. Like, I don't care if Jimmy's playing or not. We have enough. We have enough to beat them if their best player's out. Big opportunity tomorrow. We need to get back in that winning column, guys. So we'll see. If you guys are down for a post game, maybe we could do one tomorrow. But thanks for joining tonight. Everyone have a good night. Martel, any last words?
Like, share, comment, subscribe.
And that is enough said.